Hello! Thank you for clicking on this video. Before we get started with our actual play Call of Cthulhu scenario, I would just like to go ahead and give you, the listener, a little heads up about the characters. I'm going to tell you who's playing each character and describe the character a little bit. That way you have a little bit of background coming into this game. Our first player, his name is Luke, is playing Marty Blackwood. Marty is a character who specializes in writing books about the occult. He's the close cousin to a man named Arthur Blackwood, who is currently in hot water with the police because of a situation you will learn about soon. Marty is a curious man by nature, and he'll do anything for family. Our second character today is portrayed by Damien or Damone. His character is named Terry Sandow. He's a psychologist, a former doctor, former professor, who has been hired by the law office representing Arthur. He's here because the defense attorneys have wanted him to discover if Arthur is truly delusional. His expertise is required to ascertain Arthur's mental state during this crime he may or may not have committed. And our final character today is portrayed by Wade. Wade is playing the character Merrick Dreadnought, who's a private investigator hired by the law office. His character is somewhat cynical, doesn't believe that there's much to find out about this case, but is still hired to do his job. He's being sent in to collect information for Arthur's defense. And by sent in, I mean he's being called into the office of Blackwood and Kleiner. You see, Arthur is a half owner of this law firm that has hired the characters, and his partner, Joseph Kleiner, has sent for these three characters to come and help him with the defense of Arthur. I hope this background information can kind of help you stay along with the story. Though, during a grueling 4-hour editing session, I believe we actually kind of got everything out there that you need to have a comprehensive understanding of the story. And there will be an explanation and an epilogue at the end of this video. So make sure you stick around for that. But I will go ahead and let you know, the audio in this is not perfect. It was kind of on a whim that we even recorded it, but I think that you will enjoy it thoroughly as long as you can overlook our shortcomings in the audio department. If you like this, please do let me know though, because things can change with the audio department. But let's go ahead and get into the story. You might see me again before the end of it. And I hope you do enjoy. I want to go ahead and welcome you guys to this game. Today I'm going to be your keeper because we're going to be playing a Call of Cthulhu scenario. The title of this scenario is What's in the Cellar? Alright, did you guys all have an opportunity to read through your character sheet and familiarize yourself with your characters?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, well, we will have a moment to introduce ourselves during the introduction. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's dig into it. Today is Saturday, March 2nd, 1929. 8 months after Arthur Blackwood was arrested for the murder of his wife. As you enter the law office of Joseph Kleiner, you look upon a breathtaking view of the New York skyline. Kleiner bids you welcome and gestures for you to take a seat. Sitting on Kleiner's desk is a large box with a pair of strange wheels and a row of buttons on its face. Kleiner leans in and he says, "Thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming." And he says that as he shakes each of your hands. As you are aware, Arthur is facing the electric chair. And I'm trying to negotiate a lifetime prison sentence, but the outlook is quite bleak. And I don't know if you have been with Arthur since the incident, but he's not in the best mind. He places his hand on a strange box on the desk, the one with the buttons and the wheels. This is a magnetic voice recorder. I use it to record conversations with my defendants and such. And let me just go ahead and play this for you. And then he hits play. Kind of want you guys to imagine this whole game in like a movie type feel, where you're like kind of looking through the camera at yourselves. So let's go ahead and take a minute and talk about what our characters look like.
I am definitely. I'm 55. I am a little hunchback. I got a monocle. I'm probably pushing. I'm probably pushing like 215 with a hunchback. My hands are starting to be infested with arthritis. But I got a comb over and a pen in my pocket on my shirt and a notepad.
Are you in like a 3-piece suit?
Yes.
Nice.
And my name is Terrence Sando, and I go by Terry. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
So, Luke, would you like to describe your character?
My character's name is Martin Blackwood. He goes by Marty. He's a close to middle-aged guy, about 30, 33 years old. Has a very neat posture, very well-dressed, finely combed hair, maybe a bit of a side part, but that's about it. For the most part, very astute, very professional in demeanor, curious as to surroundings and things like that. But overall, just a very formal individual in his stance, his clothing, and his just overall person.
So, Wade, would you like to go ahead and describe what you think your character looks like, and maybe also just go ahead and see.
The name is Merrick Dreadnought. He goes by Merrick because that's his name. You smell him before you see him, and it doesn't smell cigarette smoke and body odor. He's probably about 6'1", portly. He wears a pinstripe suit with some of the buttons buttoned through the wrong buttonhole.
Goodness gracious.
He's not clean shaven, but he doesn't have a proper beard. He looks like he hasn't slept shaved or properly washed his face in 3 days.
Are we talking like neck beard or like patchy beard?
Patchy beard.
Pedro Pascal beard.
I feel like you're just describing yourself. We got
Jesus.
Let me
Wade's
live.
Wade's not that tall.
I'm joking.
Oh man.
Luke, go to hell and die.
That is the plan. I have to do one before the okay.
Anyway. So yeah, that's about right. He wears a hat all the time, so you can't tell, but he's balding. He's in his early 40s, and he's already balding. It's so over.
It's Jover.
It's Jover from Merrick.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys ask some questions before I reveal what Arthur has left for you on the recording, just so we can fill in some background information. So, do you guys have any questions whatsoever about the background?
I missed it, but what is the date?
The date today is March the 2nd, 1929.
The handout that we were given, is there a second part to that, or no?
No, it's just that one part right there.
Okay.
And the part you're probably mostly concerned with is the top and middle.
Right.
I have a concern of the chronological variety.
Yes.
It says this takes place in March, but the date on the handout says July 20th.
Right. That would be a clipping from the newspaper on the day that the supposed murder happened.
Damn it, they're just now getting around to this?
It's 8 months later.
Some things never change.
So you're working with the defense attorney, Joseph Kleiner,
Yeah.
He invited you all to this location to discuss the case of Arthur Blackwood, who is an influential New York attorney, and also Joseph Kleiner's partner. And he's kind of contacted, he wanted to reach out to you guys to help try and clear Arthur's good name. 8 months ago, Arthur and his wife, Rose, which you all would know, were vacationing in a summer cabin in Washington County, New York. The cabin has a peaceful view of a nearby creek, and was built by Arthur's great-great-great-grandfather, Milton Blackwood, who I believe is a relative of Luke's character. So he's a relative of your character, Arthur is. But this cabin was built in 1717 originally. But the relaxing vacation that they were having there ended when Arthur was found wandering on a nearby trail. He was disoriented and he was covered in blood. Rose was never found, and Arthur was arrested for her presumed murder. The murder trial begins in 16 days. So the state police and the local police have already completed their investigation, and all the pertinent evidence was already collected. Photographed, cataloged, everything like that. Kleiner believes that Arthur is about to get the electric chair, but he's trying to save him at any cost. You guys would know that Arthur's mental faculties have somewhat returned, but he's mostly just babbling about the darkness and Rose. And nobody seems to really get any actual information out of him. And society believes that he is a cold-blooded killer. And it's down to you guys to discover if he's actually innocent or if he is truly guilty. But let's go ahead and get into what this recording was. So let's just imagine the camera is panning up and Joseph Kleiner goes ahead and presses play on the recording. And suddenly the wheels of the box begin to spin from the inside, and you can hear Arthur's voice. And he says,
"Cousin, please, you must help me. Marty, please. I can't explain, and I never believed the stories, but the Blackwood family line is cursed, as well as being blessed, as you may know. And a genie lives in the cellar at the old lodge. I swear it, please. You're gonna need, find my ring, the ring, the family ring, you know. Find the family ring, please. Take it to the police. That will show you the genie. I implore you, please. The ring is the only thing that can prove my innocence. Marty, please. Please.
And then it kind of just stops. And Kleiner kind of sits a manila folder down on his desk in front of you and kind of plops it open. And he shows you a photograph of the cellar. And you can see it has dark walls lined with shelves and a floor of crushed shells and gravel. And a large amount of blood is across this beautiful white floor. Kleiner says, "As you may know, genies are not real. And poor Arthur has been under an incredible amount of stress over the past couple years. He likely just snapped and butchered his wife. That's the sad truth. But, and at this point, he pulls out a key from his pocket. It's like a large, like, you know, like the fake prop key that would be in like Indiana Jones, like the 2-prong key. He plops it down on the table and he says, "Take this key and please know that it's only because I still love and respect Arthur as a business partner that I'm even entertaining his request to send you to this cabin. We'll do anything." At this point, he kind of just starts to step away and looks out the window. And he says, "Do you have any questions for me?"
What investigation have you already done?
"I just had the discovery that the police gave me."
And nothing more? No one else has supplied anything, or has anyone else been to the house since then?
"No, Marty, no one's been there since the police. It might still be cordoned off, but the key still works, I'm sure. And by the way, Marty, feel free to introduce yourself to the other two here. Actually, all three of you should probably introduce yourselves to each other, and become acquaintances. You know, you're going to have quite the drive out to this cabin."
Excuse me, Mr. Kleiner.
"Yes?"
You said that the defendant, he was under a lot of very stress, right? You said he was very stressed out.
"He was very stressed. Yes."
And you said he could have snapped.
"That's the likely story.
Well,
It's the
kind of
story that
stressors?
the prosecutors are going to push on us."
Oh, maybe we should start with seeing what kind of stressors he had, and maybe we can try to debunk some of it from there.
"Well, first off, he runs one of the most prominent law offices in New York City, which you are currently sitting in, Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, he and his wife, you know, doesn't see each other very often. You know, this was their one lengthy amount of time together. They were taking a full month-long vacation. So,
Are you thinking that? Well, you would know better than anybody. Did he have any issues with his wife?
no, they seem perfectly happy. That's why I don't believe that he did it deep down, but the evidence says otherwise.
It sounds like the usual psychotic break, but we should look into it deeper.
And please introduce yourself to the others, Doctor."
I turn over to Martin, Mr. Marty,
Yes.
and I hold out my very disheveled hand.
The show?
Looks like if you hold it, it's gonna break in half. So I hold it out there, and I say, "Nice to meet you. My name is so hold on. My name is Terrence.
He's like flipping through different IDs.
Bro, it's the show.
Yeah, my name is Terrence. You can call me Terry though.
I, in like almost in disregard to like your fragile arthritis-ridden hand coming toward me, I just give it like a firm handshake.
Nice.
Glass shattering in the background.
And I turn to go look at Mr. Merrick Dreadnought, and as I turn to look, I get a little whiff of shit or something. And as I extend my hand, I realize that I better not, and I just say,
I grab you by the
And,
hand regardless and shake
nice,
you violently.
you heard my name, and I turn back around.
I'm still shaking your hand even though you've turned around.
Yes, everyone. Yes,
I don't know.
this is our private detective. As you can see, we have spared no expense bringing in
What'd you do? Buy him a
Detective.
pack of cigarettes?
Detective Dreadnought.
I take offense to that, I say, pointing a finger at you that's nicotine stained.
I just like look up and down. Well, just for flavor's sake, I'm standing beside him. I'm just like looking him up and down, and I just stick out my hand for a handshake.
I grab you
Yeah,
by the shoulder and then grab you by the hand. I basically crush your hand as I shake it.
it's very sweaty too. I can just feel it.
Ugh.
Are you dripping with sweat?
I look like Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
No.
Upon smelling Mr. Detective Dreadnought, Mr. Kleiner steps forward and he says, "Gentlemen, now, if you need anything before you leave, please tell me now."
And you said he's not made much sense aside, like, has he said anything at all beside what was played in that little recording?
Oh, yeah, well, he said things, but that
Like, I
might be
know
the
you
most
two.
coherent. Of
I knew you two were somewhat, close. So I didn't know if he may have told you anything in private that would help or anything
No.
of the sort.
Well, I don't get private conversations with him. He's in the big house.
I see. And I'm over here like taking out like a little notepad and writing stuff down.
Do you think you could have a conversation with him, considering your family with him?
Unfortunately,
But
gentlemen, with him being in the big house and all, he is only allowed to speak with his defense attorney at this time.
I see.
He's also been deemed mentally unwell by the court psychologist.
I would like to talk to them one day and see.
Perhaps. But for now, a taxi is waiting outside for all. They will take you all the way to his cabin.
I flip my notebook up and stick my pen in my pocket, and I say, "Good day," and I turn and walk away.
I'm following him.
At this
And I
point,
just like hold the door
Kleiner-
open.
Kleiner is like leaning on the desk, and he flips the manila envelope closed right in front of Merrick before he even has a chance to stand up. And as it closes, the camera starts to kind of pan away, and he says, "Good luck, gentlemen." And we're going to now take a quick 5-minute question time. If you guys need any actual other information that you think your characters might already know, or you think might be useful, and if your characters already know it, I will go ahead and let you know about it now.
Am I technically hired by the defense attorney, right? So would I have access to the court psychology reports?
You're really supposed to be kind of
Just a fact checker?
right. You're supposed to kind of be here, like, to find anything in the cabin that might have
Made
kind
him
of
act
led
the-
to, kind of
Okay.
like if there's something that drove him to do this, or anything at all.
Would there be like any other, family members relatively nearby that I would think he'd be more likely to choose over me, given that we'd kind of drifted apart a little bit?
So not really, because most of the family is, himself and Rose. They are like the heads of the family right now.
And then
but you're probably the closest to him, and he trusts you because he reached out to you, and
Right.
not his other cousins or uncles or anything.
with that as well, when he talked about cursed and blessed, would I know anything about that? Because he kind of seemed like
So
when he said
yes,
and
this is
blessed,
a fantastic question. The truth is that you do know something about the good fortune of the Blackwood family. Even you yourself have experienced it. Basically, everyone in the family is extremely successful in whatever they do. No matter if they put a little bit of time into it or they sink their lives into it, they're always going to be successful with basically everything. And the only thing of bad fortune that has happened recently is this murder.
I'm basically just like, I had no affiliation with the law office or anything prior to being hired specifically for this case, right?
Right. You're there to find evidence to prove Arthur's innocence.
Right. Yeah, I think I can work with that.
Yep. That's what you were hired for. But you are known for being quite meticulous. Maybe not in your dress and attire, but otherwise.
Yeah, that's where all the effort goes. That's why I look like
Into
this.
your work, right. Yeah. Is it the same for real life?
No, I'm just ugly.
Oh.
Oh.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and pan back up, and we're going to be panning up into the back windshield of a vehicle. We're going to call it the 1925 Ford Buick. And it pans up, and it's looking in that back windshield, and then we kind of flip to a different camera angle where you guys are in the car with the taxi driver. Merrick is in the front seat, and Terry and Marty are in the back seat. And the taxi driver is this quite elderly man with the newsboy cap, you know, the classic cap. And he's got like big round Harry Potter glasses, and he's kind of hunched forward. He kind of looks like the mouse dude from the Harry Potter movies, except with glasses and a hat. And he's just kind of driving along. This is a great opportunity for you guys to ask any questions you may want to do or talk amongst yourselves. So feel free to go ahead and chat it up. You've got like a 3-hour drive ahead of you.
Are you cousins to Arthur?
Yes, we were really close at one point, and we just over the years grew a little distant. But
Oh, as everybody does.
yeah. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he seems to still trust me enough to help clear his name in this situation. So I would still consider us close to some degree. And what exactly did they call you here for? A specific purpose, or?
Well, I'm just here to see if there's any potential triggers in this cabin that could have indicated a psychotic break, or maybe
I see.
yeah, it's kind of the crime scene investigations that your normal pauper federal agent ain't gonna pay attention to.
Right. Kind of like a unique perspective on it.
Yes, sir.
And while he's talking, I'm like kind of like glancing up and down between like his eyes and a notepad, just like writing down everything that he's saying.
And so besides your relation, why would he have picked you to do this?
To be completely honest, I really don't know.
Do you know of anything that none of us would have known about? Like family-wise?
I mean, family-wise, I mean, you all heard the recording. He mentioned that we're blessed or whatever. And I mean, that very well could be true.
It's a very
we
family.
Right. And it's always been like that ever since we were all children. Our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, no matter what we went into, whether it be professional or just mere hobbies, we never really had any issue doing things well. And everyone around here and all of our family always just considered it a blessing. As for the curse, I have no idea. He seemed much more frantic than I've ever witnessed out of him, which has me a little bit concerned on the whole psychotic break theory. As far as I know, but granted, I did say we have grown a little distant over the years. As far as I know, he's never had any sort of episodes or anything of the sort.
Yeah, a couple of years can change a person.
I suppose. And I'm like, after that, I'm like leaning up a little bit to kind of like look between the taxi driver and Merrick. I'm looking at Merrick. I was like, so are you just like a PI? Did they just hire you to work on this specifically? Like, do you have any other connection to this?
Do you have any cigarettes?
No.
Oh.
The taxi driver looks over. He's like sputtering along, and he says, "The glove box got some Marlboros in there.
We got the camels.
Only got
Marlboros.
They're brand new. They're coming from a company called Philip Morris."
They're not gonna last 10 years. I'll smoke my own Lucky
Okay,
Strike,
well, you
thank
hold on. Don't say that. Well, I got some Pall Malls too.
Oh, hell no. Where are we? Portland?
No, we're in picturesque Washington County. Please take a look at this image.
If you have me
Lovely.
smoking Pall Malls, I'm driving us all four into the drink.
And then he kind of like, he's like, all right, well, they're there if you need them, boy.
So what were you asking, you with the face in the shirt?
Yes. I was just wondering if you had any other connections to this aside from, just being a private investigator. Do you have any other knowledge that might help the rest of us? Have they given you anything more that you're able to share? Or... And I have like my pen just kind of gently tapping on the note, waiting for him to speak.
Well, out of my own pure curiosity, I've been following this case ever since it broke. So, I like to think I know it a little better than most people. I'm also the best at what I do, but, I guess that only counts for so much.
Fair enough. What,
So you don't have any cigarettes? Okay.
He just said that
I'm
he
not
had some in
smoking
the...
that. I'm not smoking that. I'm not smoking fucking Marlboros. Continue.
You said that you feel like you know it better. Do you have any of your own theories? Do you think that they may have missed something from what you know?
Not according to either of my handouts.
You're kind of under the assumption that you're supposed to conduct your own personal investigation once you arrive at the location. Merrick. Because you haven't been given a discovery or anything like that.
Alright.
As the conversation trails off, the camera just looks directly out the front windshield. Then we're going to cut to you just hearing it. And the door to the cabin is now open. The taxi driver is standing next to his car, smoking a cigarette, waiting for you guys to complete your investigation. He's not going to bother you. If you need him, he's there.
Is he just going to stay out there the whole time?
Yep, he's not coming in. That's
Okay.
what he said. He said, yeah, this is none of my business. I'm just driving. And now you guys... Who opened the front door?
I'd say I would, since it's like a family house.
Definitely him.
You three are all looking into the house. And the first things that you notice is that the house is in great shape. You don't see any stains. It's not dirty. Everything is quite orderly, and everything is very straight.
Yeah. Imagine my shock. I'm kind of shocked. So I'm like, I look around and I go, oh wow.
It's about what I would expect it to be. I mean, Arthur and Rose were always very well kept people.
Mhm.
They always made sure to clean up after themselves and keep a clean home.
No, usually during like a break like this, you usually see some sort of debris. But maybe this is different.
Okay. Do you guys want to take a step inside?
I
Or
Yeah.
suppose.
I'll
Who
make
would
a
want to
joke.
step in first?
Me.
Oh boy. All right.
I'm
Well,
a
you step in.
go-getter.
He like
You-
pushes me to the side.
All
Get
right.
out of here. I want to see if he had cigarettes.
I want to say,
Okay.
have fun with that genie while you're in there.
Wade, you step in. Roll spot hidden.
Roll
Don't
spot
worry, I'll put
hidden.
his ass
Roll
back in
spot
the lamp.
hidden. Roll spot hidden.
Oh shit, I'm gonna have to remember how to do this now.
Okay. So roll spot hidden.
Yeah.
The character sheet that I sent you has
I
your.
wanna roll under
There'll be a
that
D100.
contract.
You want to roll under the percentage right
Yes.
next to it.
Then the half, and then the fifth.
Alright, I've got a D100 rolling thing up on my computer right now.
Excellent.
There's no fucking way I just got a 1.
Bro got a 1.
Bro
Okay.
sees everything.
Kid you not.
You walk into the room and you see a pack of Marlboro cigarettes on the front counter.
I start floating towards them like a cartoon character towards an
Perfect.
apple pie.
the
They're
like
completely
the
unattended.
smoke like
There,
finger motion is like really raggedy and stuff just
it's
from
like,
the
it looks
scent
like
of
static.
nicotine.
It's like static. I know it's like Drake smelled pie, bro.
Good God.
That's so funny. So you walk up and you see that, and then you immediately notice that there is a trap door, in like the front room near the front windows. There's a bedroom, kind of off to the right. There's a small kitchen. It's kind of like an open floor plan, except the bedroom is shut off, and then there's also a bathroom, which is basically just a water spigot.
Nice.
As I look around, I want to ask. I'll say, hey, Marty.
Hmm?
I'll say, how many times have you been here? You know, to be in a family cabin.
Well, not as much in recent years, but you know, growing up, probably into my late 20s. I mean, we came here quite a bit.
Is there
Yeah.
any big changes here that surprise you or shock you?
Not
I'm writing all this down. I'm on notepad.
Not in particular. Nothing to my knowledge seems different. But, I mean, odds and ends stuff. I mean, if you have any questions, I'll do my best to explain it. All the while, I'm not looking at him at all in my response. I'm just looking around, kind of like up and down the walls, seeing if anything has changed. And you mentioned a trap door, was it?
Yeah, there's a trap door. It's kind of there was a rug over it, but the rug has been kind of like lifted up. And
Okay.
It's kind of folded. You've never seen it before.
Okay. I would say that, like, when I see that, I kind of, like, jot something down about it. And then I look over at Terry and I'm like, well, this is something I've never seen before.
Is this the
didn't-
cellar?
I'm not entirely sure. I never knew this was here. And as I'm saying that, I'm, like, pulling the rug back a little bit further. Is
Yeah.
there anything, like, on top of it or, like,
On
any
top of the
words?
rug?
On top of the trapdoor, like anything written on it at all?
No, nothing written on it. It's just like almost like a cutout piece of the floor with hinges in it.
Is it like locked or anything?
No lock. You see that there is a spot where you could lock it, but there's not currently a lock on there. Terry, please make me a. Let's just go ahead and do a Constitution check.
A constitution check.
A con check, yeah.
All right, coming right up. I passed.
You passed. You notice that it is colder in here than you would expect for a cabin without any kind of fireplace that's going. I mean, the fireplace obviously isn't going, but it's cold outside. It's March, but it's colder inside than it would be outside, and it kind of strikes you as a little odd.
Yeah, I bring it up. I'll say, it's oddly cold in here.
I think you're right. I mean, it is a little chilly. We didn't leave the door open or anything, did we?
No, close the door behind you.
Hmm.
You guys look up through the window and you still see the taxi driver. He's kind of like wandered his way over next to the creek, which runs alongside the the land here. And he's just kind of like looking out.
There's like a small pile of cigarettes. Like he doesn't feel like going back to his car. He just has them in a pile so he can just pick one up whenever he's done. Does Merrick do anything before I start? Or want to do anything? Or is he just stealing my cousin's cigarettes?
He's pocketed all the cigarettes.
I don't acknowledge this. Like I don't know about it because I'm too distracted by the one thing in this house that's changed in my life. I'm gonna start to open the trap door.
Okay, before you do that,
we can find something down there.
Go ahead and roll. Everybody roll 3d6 and multiply that number by 5. And let me know.
Man, I got 25 luck.
I gotta do math. I'm not good with numbers. I'm kind of dumb.
Multiply that number by what?
5.
50.
Okay.
70.
Oh my god, Marty is the luckiest man on earth. Bro, the curse, the blessing, I mean, is real.
2 foes and a 6.
And you got 25?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Devon. So you have opened the trapdoor, correct?
Yes. Kind of taking out my pocket flashlight as I do.
So I've got something to read here.
Did the luck rolls affect anything that happened immediately?
No.
Just for curiosity's sake. You said
It's
first,
just
let's do this, so I didn't know if it was something we needed to do.
It's something we'll need later on in the game, but we're going to go ahead and take care of it now.
Okie dokie.
Okay. While looking into the cellar from the open trap door in the parlor, your view is extremely limited. Light from the parlor spills through the hatch, illuminating a ladder, some shelving, and the white shell and gravel floor that you saw in the picture. You can make out that the shelves hold jars, small boxes, and other knickknacks. Everything is covered in a thick layer of dust. You also make note that the cellar has no lighting, so you'll need to use your own lanterns and flashlights. Large cobwebs do hang everywhere.
I'm going to start going down with my flashlight since I was already the one opening the door.
Okay, you're going to go down the ladder. I do have something to show you guys. That's kind of a little floor plan for you guys to take a peek at. Marty, you get down to the gravel and the gravel floor, and you are able to do whatever you'd like now.
I'll go too.
You guys all head down the ladder. Let's just say you all get down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go ahead and say, Wade, you notice this first, Merrick. The ceiling is extremely low. It's like 7 feet high only. So you're, like the beams, you're almost hitting your head. But it's a large L-shaped area that you're in. And, you look at this picture and you're like, or you remember looking at this picture at the office, and the floor is completely white. It's completely clean, and there are no apparent signs of the blood that you saw at all. And that strikes you as odd because you would think, would not the blood stain on the rocks? Especially in an environment closed off like this?
Man, your family
So-
definitely has good cleaning supplies.
What do you mean? And as he says that, I'm like looking out at the floor. I was like, surely they wouldn't have cleaned something like this before the actual trial, would they?
Yeah, what do you say, P.I.?
No. No, they wouldn't have, which means there was any kind of foul play from anyone other than Arthur. That means that they've come back.
Hmm.
Or this isn't the same cellar?
What did they just dig it out and rebuild it?
No, I mean there's two at this house, like a basement and a cellar or something.
You do recall this is the room that was shown in the picture.
Oh, okay.
Everything is the same,
Yeah.
except
okay.
the floor looks
It's just clean.
different. Correct.
Ship of Theseus has cellar down here.
Dude, yeah, I thought, dude, that's crazy.
Um,
This is not the same cellar.
since this is all like, since this is all new to me, I'm kind of like, I'm equally drawn to the fact that it's suddenly very clean. And I'm like quickly jotting stuff down in my little notepad or whatever. But I'm also taking a look at the shelves and seeing if this is something that's been here for a long time or if it's something that is relatively recent.
So you're taking a closer look at the shelves?
Yes, like the shelves, the stuff on them, just like kind of walking around the room a little bit.
Okay, go ahead and roll spot hidden for me.
Roll spot hidden.
Roll spot hidden.
Let me get back to the
You can
character
tell
sheet.
me exactly where you're wanting to look as well, because that
Um,
has
there-
an influence.
There is no specific area, but I'm walking toward like where, based off the picture, where the blood should be.
Like away from the ladder.
Correct.
Right.
I has. Let me make sure. Okay, it's not within my half. I thought it was for a second.
Okay, so but you do pass.
I do pass.
You notice you kind of walk around and you look to your right, and as you're rounding the corner, you see a couple different things on the shelf. There's like some jars, a jar of nails, and there's a hammer there on the shelf. But you notice there's trace amounts of blood on the jar of nails, the hammer, just like kind of across the wall.
Jesus.
And it appears to be consistent with the account of the murder and
Is
the
it-
photographs.
Is it like a splatter or a trail?
Kind of like not a trail, it's a splatter, yeah.
Okay. Because I was just asking in the case, like, maybe somebody was, like, reaching for this or
Yeah,
something
you
and
don't-
something happened.
You don't think this is a murder weapon by any means,
Okay,
or anything like that. You just think it kind of splattered with blood.
right.
Ambiently, I guess would be the word.
Okay. When I see that, I'm, like, burning a hole in this notepad, writing stuff down. And then I'm calling over to Merrick and just, like, waving him over, kind of without, like, looking up at him. Just keeping my eyes, like, locked on to this little bit of blood that's left, despite everything else that's already been cleaned.
Allow me to analyze this with the finest forensics technology available at the time. I look at it for 5 seconds. Yeah, this is blood.
pulls out a comedically large magnifying glass.
He takes his
I've
finger,
had it.
and licks it.
Ugh.
Mm.
Sticks his finger in the air after.
Yeah,
No wind.
He went that away.
there's no wind. This is blood.
Is there anything that I can glean from, like, the way it's splattered, like the direction of it, the amount of it?
It looks like where the big pool of blood would have been in the floor, this splatter is away from that.
Huh. That's It's weird how this is still here, but the pool on the floor isn't.
I'm
Maybe
getting a little
somebody
bit.
hungrier than me got here first.
I like turn to look at him a little bit, kind of
I'll
like
write
out of the
that
side
down.
of my eye. What? What?
I'll
I'm
write
sorry.
that. I'll write that down.
Oh.
Don't write that down.
He
Don't
takes
write
note
that down.
that
He's
Merrick
like,
might be
I might not be here for Arthur after all.
right.
Um, I'm looking at him. I'm like, do you? What do you mean? Like, do you think? Obviously, they came back to clean it up. Why do you think they would miss this?
People get sloppy.
Hmm.
Not me. I'm very thorough.
Terry, is there anything you're looking for?
I'm kind of shivering in my timbers. Like this is a very eerie case for me. I'm used to 12-year-old kids that think that they are gonna kill themselves and stuff. So I'm very skeptical,
What is
very
that
scared.
about?
This is
It's
a this
very
is this is a different job. I'm not used to like murders, especially being at the site. Oh, I'm used to murders, but not at the site of them.
I'm like moving stuff below
I know,
those
yeah.
shelves and just like looking under the shelves, kind of seeing if there's anything else that might have been missed in the same path.
You find a hoe laying across the ground. Not a woman, but
I was going to
a,
say rose,
no. You find
AJ.
the tool.
a gardening hoe.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself that I gotta find something here, something that's gonna prove to the court and the jury that he's not fit to stand trial. I have to find something.
Are you
Well,
saying this out loud? Just
yes, I'm
talking.
talking out loud as I'm looking
He's
around.
talking
and
to
stuff.
himself.
Yeah.
Hearing that, I kind of like turn quickly to look at you. I was like, I thought we were here to prove his innocence.
That's what.
I'm getting
I
paid.
mean, yeah.
Like, I almost
Kinda.
take a little bit of offense to it, as he is my family member who trusted me enough to call me in for this. Like, no, he didn't do this.
Well, I'm not saying he did, but
I'm not saying he did or didn't.
I don't want him I don't want him to die either.
Right.
So, the last,
Hmm.
last case, ditch effort.
If we have to, we have to, I guess.
We're gonna prove to the jury that he's mentally unwell. And I mean, he is talking about genies, so
Yes.
there's got to be something. Have you found that ring yet?
And at this, you hear something over nearby where the ladder was fall and hit the ground.
Is that the taxi driver?
When we hear that, I'm like quickly straightening back up and kind of like fast walking to the ladder, kind of holding my head down not to hit my head on the very low ceiling.
Okay, you fast walk over to the ladder and you kind of round back the corner, and you see that a baseball bat has fallen off of the ground and rolled over near the feet of the ladder.
Is there blood on that?
Yes. Is this a murder weapon, Mr. PI?
I don't know, but as I pick it up and I start to examine it,
Whenever you pick up the baseball bat, by the way, you notice something. The ladder doesn't stop at the ground. The ladder extends past the gravel and shells and goes into the ground.
What
Yeah.
the hell?
Okay, so back to the ship of Theseus.
Yeah, you guys said I was fucking crazy.
Is there any? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying you seem insaner all the time.
I mean, that is true. But somebody could have brought new gravel down here and just covered it all up.
Maybe.
Is there like a shovel or anything in here?
Garden hoe.
There's a gardening hoe.
If you take a look around and you do find a shovel leaned up in a corner.
Gonna kind of like look and make sure there's nothing on it before I grab it.
There's nothing on there. Just
All right.
cobwebs.
I'm gonna take it and just kind of like try to push aside some of the gravel.
Near like the
Make sure-
ladder.
Yes, just to make sure it doesn't like just stop there and they put that around it to stabilize it if it actually goes further down into it.
Yeah, I'd say keep digging until it stops.
No, you dig, you pull out like a full shovel full of gravel.
Hmm.
And it still keeps going.
Jesus Christ.
I look over at PI and I say, "Hey, like, do you think there's something buried here?"
Well, in my experience, whenever there's a shovel nearby and loose gravel and or soil around, that does tend to follow.
Maybe we should
Still
Dig it
digging
up.
away.
dig it up. And I mean, if anything, we could just bury it back down.
So,
I'm like speaking to Merrick kind of out of the side of my mouth a little bit. Did you see where that baseball bat came from? I didn't see it when we came in.
I didn't see it either. But then again, it's kind of dark down here.
It's true.
You're the one with the oddly scientifically advanced pocket flashlight.
That is also true.
Now, just asking frankly, do you think Arthur did it?
Well,
there's
Either
no
of them?
way.
there's just crazier cases than this that exist.
Because just
I-
speaking honestly, it seems like you both have gone under the notion that he couldn't have. And I'm not blaming you for that. You were hired to prove his innocence, but me, I'm just here to see if
I was
anybody
not
missed
hired
anything.
to prove his innocence. I was
Well,
hired to
not
make sure
hired.
he doesn't go to jail.
He trusted me to
Very
prove his
true.
innocence, and obviously growing up with him being related, I might be a little biased, but there's no way he could have been able to murder Rose. And I kind of say that a little hesitantly as I kind of stop shoveling to look at him again.
Well, you stop shoveling, but in the last shovelful you throw out, a different sound comes from the shovelings that you have put into a pile nearby. Instead of it being like the gravel rock sounds.
Is it metallic?
No, it's more fibrous in sounds. You take a closer look, because it does strike you as a completely different sound. It's not dirt.
Texture.
It's a completely different type from the gravel and seashells. It's completely different. Would anybody like to take a closer look?
Just kind of like tossing the shovel aside for a second to look down, holding my flashlight down there so everyone can see.
Who would like to make a roll for me? I need someone to make a biology roll. Science, biology.
Would education work?
Hold on one second. We can do natural world, we can do education or intelligence.
All right, I can do education. I have a high education.
What is your education?
75.
I have an 80 intelligence.
Okay, then I'll let you do it.
Bro's smart.
It's all the
I got the
cigarettes.
I got the book knowledge. He got the street knowledge. That's all it is.
41.
So you almost got your half. If you want to spend one luck point, you can get to a half.
I suppose. Why not?
Okay. We'll bring you down to 49 luck. But you now take a closer look at these chippings, and you identify them as bits of a human skeleton. Different kinds of bone. Completely almost like put in through a wood chipper and chipped down to be like gravel and bits of shell.
What?
But yeah, they're all small.
What is it, Mister?
PI, man. What Maverick? What are we looking at? What is that?
Merrick, please lose 2 sanity.
Oh. Oh no. I
What?
smoke a cigarette.
What?
Does he tell
What
us
is
what
it?
it is?
He's just standing there menacingly.
Eric, are you okay? What is it?
Yeesh. Don't look. You won't like what you find.
I'll look
You have it in
down.
your hand. We're looking at it. I look down at it, and I'm like, what is it? You're not making any sense. Just tell us what it is. I mean, this is something that we all need to know.
I'm gonna get down there and pick it up.
Upon just picking it up, you don't realize what it is. It's only with his finer knowledge of things like this that he knows, the site of it. If he chooses to share that with you, he can, or you can make your own roll.
I'm down there. I go. It's just gravel. Let's just keep digging. Here, hand me the shovel. I'll keep digging.
I go to start to hand him the shovel. Does Merrick do anything? Does he stop us at all?
I smoke a cigarette.
Why are you smoking that down here? It is an enclosed area.
He's hotboxing.
We are underground.
He's hotboxing the whole
Under a lot of
base.
stress.
What stress are you under? What is it? Just answer the question.
All right, I'm digging.
While he's digging, I'm gonna look at the area where the baseball bat was, because that conveniently fell when we mentioned the ring.
So the baseball bat looks like, you can tell from where the dust is, and there's like a big empty, there's a not dusty spot that looks oddly comically in the shape of a baseball bat on a shelf nearby.
Mhm.
But you don't see anything that would have knocked it in the floor or anything.
So there's nothing like on the shelf or...
No, it was just a baseball bat, like a mitt was back there as well.
Okay, but there's nothing surrounding that like could be assumed to be the ring. Do I know what the ring is? Because he mentioned it very specifically. It did
You
not.
do. You know about the family ring.
Okay.
The family ring is like quite a very nice ring that the head of the household typically wears, and it's kind of passed down from father to son.
So kind of like a signet ring.
Kind of, yeah. And it's like a black ring with a beautiful purple gemstone.
Okay. But so I know what I'm looking for, but I don't find it.
Right, you don't see it around anywhere.
Okay. After not finding it, I'm going to go back to the hole and just kind of like look down. Terry, you good?
Terry gets to
have you
the
found
bottom.
anything?
About 2 feet down,
Jesus Christ.
you finally find, like, dirt.
Rich dirt. Is the ladder still going?
No, the ladder stops at the dirt.
Yeah, this is it.
Come back up here.
Okay.
I'm looking back at Merrick. All right. So the only thing even remotely suspicious, obviously, is that this goes 2 feet down but ends in dirt. Now,
And you guys are just digging, like, right by the ladder, right?
I'd say like around.
Yeah.
So yeah, just around, maybe under it,
Okay.
just to see where it actually stops.
is. Right.
Right.
Okay.
I'm looking back at Merrick. I'm like, okay. So aside from this going 2 feet lower than what we suspected, the only thing we found that was even remotely strange was whatever is in your hand. What is it? You seem to know, but you won't tell us.
Yeah, I'll kind of I look at you, Luke. Are you sure you want to know?
Yes, I want to get this done. I want to free my cousin.
I hold my hand out to give
look-
it to him.
I look at it. This doesn't tell me what it is. You act like you know what this is.
Hold it.
I hold it. I'm like,
Bones.
shove. What?
It's bones.
As he says that, my hands like start trembling as I just let it
Oh,
fall.
Wait, you
Stop!
mean
That's
like,
evidence.
Luke, you lose 2 sanity.
Okay.
Terry, you lose 1 sanity. Hearing that it's bones.
wait, you mean like what? Like rat bones? Human animal bones?
No. No, there wouldn't be this much of it.
As he explains this, I kind of like take a step back, and now I'm grabbing the shovel and I'm just like digging all around this area.
Wait, so why are they like crushed?
I honestly, it beats me. Sometimes people crush up bones and use it as fertilizer, but there's no real reason that they'd need that, down here. So I
Or
came up
underneath the
with something,
gravel either? Like
came up with
there's
something more sinister.
just a layer of bone meal?
I'm not acknowledging this conversation at all, as I'm just like frantically taking the shovel and just slinging shit up. Just in like,
Ow, you're hitting me with rocks. Quit it.
I was about to say, I'm making sure it's like in the direction that they are not.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, Terry, Merrick, is there anything you guys are specifically doing?
I'm kind of I'm going to go up the ladder
Okay.
and look around and take like a breather real quick.
Like outside, like up in like the normal area.
Up
and
in the
outside.
normal house, yeah. Up in the house.
So you go up the ladder, and you get up and you look outside. You don't see the taxi driver out there.
Do I see
Yeah.
the taxi?
You see all the cigarettes that he had on like his hood, on the hood of his car, are still there. You still see the taxi.
Okay.
You don't know where he's gone off to. But.
I'm not too worried about it then, because if I still see the taxi, I'm just gonna assume he's still around. It's all right. I start kind of digging through stuff. Like, is this like a cabin? It's just like one glorified gigantic room, or is it like got other rooms?
There's like one giant room that's the cabin, but then there's also like a side room that's like the
Bedroom.
and then there's like a bathroom.
But it's just a
kind
spigot.
of, right. It's just like water that comes out of a hole.
And I want to go to the bedroom part.
Okay.
I want to take a look around. Do I see anything interesting? Like, do I see any family pictures?
Roll spot hidden.
Okay. I want to use one luck point and make it a 34. So I make it.
Okay.
I mean, make it a 35 so I can beat it.
Okay. All right. Well, you succeed, and you see on the wall it's a painting. It depicts a stern-looking man in Puritan clothing. He has a black jeweled ring on one of his fingers with a purple gemstone that catches your eye. And you see written at the bottom of the painting, it says, "The Wizard, Milton Blackwood."
I write that down. I put the wizard Milton Blackwood ? Ring ?
You look a little closer at the painting, and you can see that the eyes are in quite extreme detail, and they appear to be looking directly deadpan
Like,
into your soul.
like, is it like the eyes move, or is it just like when you look straight at?
If you step to the side, you notice that it looks like they're still looking
right. So it looks like one of them things where it's like, no matter where you're standing, it looks like they're just staring dead into you.
Right. It strikes you as quite creepy.
Quite eerie.
You're gonna lose 1 sanity point because it is actually quite disturbing.
I try to keep my mind off of that and just go back to like looking for broken glass and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, you look around a little bit more and you find sticking out from underneath the bed a small wooden box.
I look around, make sure I'm alone,
You are.
and then I'll get down there and I'll pull it out and look at it.
As our dear friend Terry climbs down on his knees, reaches under the bed, the camera that the audience is looking through internally in your mind sees behind him a figure. The figure of an old man. The same old man pictured in the painting just across the room, with the odd eyes. As Terry gets back up, however, the man disappears. What does this mean? Is this a clue? Only you can decide. Okay, you pull it out, but now you sit on, let's say you just sit on the bed with the box in your lap, and you pull out a leather-bound, handwritten journal. And you open the first page, and it's dated 1725.
I immediately say, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, there's a scrap of paper at the bottom of the box as well. But you can look at whichever one you'd like to first.
The date caught me off guard, so I'm kind of looking at that.
If you want to read it, you're going to need to do a language roll to see if you can actually even read this archaic script.
Okay.
Because it is pretty rough, the handwriting.
Okay, so I got a language English, a language Latin, and a library.
Do language English.
Okay. I got within my fifth.
Oh my fucking god. Shall I just read it to you?
My language English is a 70.
Oh my god. Okay, yep, there it is. Feel free to read through that. It is actually somewhat difficult to read also.
Yeah, I'm. So,
Okay, well, while he's reading that, Wade, is there anything specific you're doing?
I'm
Holy
digging through
ew.
more of like the gravel with what's his nuts to see if I can find any more.
Okay, are you using like your
Bones or
hands
anything.
or like...
I'm just using my hands, yeah. Fuck it, I've already touched it. What's the point in being afraid of touching anymore?
Okay,
Unless I
you're
touch
going
like pie or
to
something.
go ahead and roll me a luck check.
Okay.
So you're going against a 49 here.
Alright, that would be a 79.
So fail. You're gonna lose.
Worked.
You get over to a spot kind of further into the room, and you're digging pretty quickly with your hands, and you strike something like at the bottom of the floor, and you cut your hand, and you're gonna lose 1 hit point. I'll go ahead and keep track of that as well. So you lose a hit point, but you do find that there is like a concrete slab underneath this section of the gravel. Damone, back to you. Have you had a chance to read that one?
No, yeah, I've had a chance, yes.
Okay. Would
Do
you
you want
like
my
to also...
reaction? Or do you.
Yeah, go ahead and react to it.
Well, when I'm reading it, my mouth kind of like drops slower and slower as I go further down the page.
Are you reading it like the Ratatouille chef?
Yeah, exactly like that. It's crazy. And was this the thing that was dated, or was this the scrap of paper?
That's the dated. That's kind of like in
Okay.
the journal.
Okay, that's in the journal. I'm like, I kind of like, squeeze my eyes together and like rub them, and
I thought he
I
was going to
will,
say he shit himself.
I move the journal over and I'll grab this at the piece of scrap paper.
The scrap paper, I'll let you go ahead and read through that, and then feel free to insert yourself back in whenever you are prepared to do so.
Right.
You can either just say, "I come back down the ladder into the basement,"
Oh,
or you
okay.
can tell me you're gonna look around upstairs more. Otherwise,
Okay,
I'll
I
just go
got you.
ahead and continue with Luke. Go ahead, Luke.
I was just gonna say, do I find anything in my frantic digging within a certain like radius of the ladder?
Near the ladder, you don't find anything. You're
I'm
just
like
kind of
digging
searching.
out like further from where we were.
You're not really finding anything. If you're still going like in the radius around the ladder, you're not finding anything there. It's
I'm
just
just like
like you get to dirt all the way around around the ladder. But
well, not like
Wade,
specifically around the ladder, just in that area.
Yeah, there's nothing really over there that you find. Wade kind of finds concrete and cuts himself on it. On like if you it's like an upside down L, right? So if you're like
Right.
at the apex, like the top right of the map, that's kind of where Wade is when that happens to him.
Okay. As I'm digging, or like kind of coming to a stopping point on it, I call over to Merrick, and I like hearing him say something where he hit his hand. I'm kind of climb up out of the hole that I've made, and I walk over to him, try to see what he finds. But as I'm doing so, I was like, didn't they arrest him like while this was all here? There's no way he could have done all this, right? Like he's been in holding, hasn't he?
There's no way. Unless there was an accomplice or accomplices.
Like I said, I just there's no way. I mean, I refuse to believe it. I've known them both for way too long to like there is absolutely no way Arthur could have done anything like this.
Suddenly, you guys hear like gravel shift on the other side of the room.
Oh no!
I quickly turn.
You
The
turn
bugs are back.
and you don't see anything. You just almost the sound of like a footstep crunching in the gravel. But you turn and you don't see anything.
About this time, I'll start heading down the ladder. Like
Okay.
really, really fast and shaking
You-
up and like freaking like really
Bro is running down the ladder.
sweating.
What'd you find?
You come down the ladder. The first thing that strikes you before you say anything is it is colder down here now than it was when you were originally coming in and noticed it was cold.
Is this
Yeah,
something
so
that we've all like
I kind of
noticed?
You didn't notice because it's kind of been
I
happening
haven't
over
left.
time, but it's like the shock of him coming back into this room and it being like a cooler.
Okay.
I slide down the ladder a little bit, and where we dug all that junk up, I kind of go take a step and I slide down like real fast, like I trip a little bit, and get up, and I run up to him, like run up with this book and this paper in hand, and I go. Now I am a man of many degrees, but I I'm a little worried.
What'd you find?
Um uh what if Arthur was not fully lying on the recording?
As he's saying that, I kind of like look down at the book and the paper. I'm like, what do you mean? What is that?
I open the book and I read it to him first. I go. So the bond is set and the accord sealed in blood. Wealth and good fortune shall forever flow throughout the Blackwood bloodline. The price is Christian blood that has been defiled through Sabbath rites. Your family, according to this, has done a ritual.
Merrick, you kind of see like the gravel, like kind of where you cut your hand, is glowing a little bit, like illuminating in red.
And this page was in the bottom of the box. It says, unto the very ground I have bound Damon to the Blackwood bloodline. As long as a true Blackwood kin wears this ring, The creature will remain trapped, and its gift of good fortune will remain untainted.
You now notice that the room, like as he's reading this, suddenly it goes from being cold to where you can see your breath in the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Let this ring never leave your
Tips.
finger. Let it pass from kin to kin on the deathbed. Never let the creature out, for its hate is unbounded, and it desires to see the extinction of the Blackwood name. And I kind of drop it down, and not drop on the ground, but drop my hands down, and I look up at you two, and I go, man, it's getting cold in here now. I start shivering.
I take note of that, and I'm like quickly, frantically looking around, trying to find this ring, flashing my light everywhere, hoping to get like a reflection off the gemstone that's in it.
As you're doing that, Merrick, what are you doing?
That glow in the gravel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start digging there.
Okay. It's kind of like right in front of you. So maybe you grab the shovel that Luke is no longer using, and it helps you go a little bit faster. And you eventually dig up to where you can see there's like almost something on the concrete here, like drawn onto it in red. As you uncover more and more of it, you actually hit something with the shovel, something solid, not the concrete. You hit a human skull.
Oh, fuck.
That still has flesh on it.
The worms! The worms!
Let's go ahead and roll a d4 for sanity loss.
Yes.
All of us, or just him, because he's the only one like actively doing this.
Just him, because he's the only one who's seen it.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 2. Okay, I can live with that.
Okay, so you've lost 4 sanity total now. Yeah, you see that, and you see that there's still flesh kind of like rotting off of it, and the stink of death is pretty bad. You can go ahead and, if you want to examine that, you can roll like a medicine check or a biology check, like a science check, something like that.
Yeah, let me look for like any kind of trauma, cause of death, something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Let me see, what do I have for this?
Damone, is there anything you're doing specifically, like searching around for?
I'm thinking 1,000 things. Like a second, in one part of my head, I'm like, I just need to run and take this, and then I could say that Arthur drew all this shit out himself. He's not mentally well. But then I'm also in the back of my head, I'm kind of freaking out because all the bones and this and that.
And you kind of see Marty freaking out and like clattering through stuff, and you see Merrick is like picking up a human skull and holding it like he's in a Shakespeare play.
Yeah, like it's all devolved so quickly. And I will walk up to Marty and be like, Marty, look, this journal is dated for 17 something something. I'm like, this is the real deal. It took me so long to figure out what this was saying. This is textbook Old English. The Arthur probably would not have known how to write this.
And at this moment, a shelf collapses behind you. Falling onto the ground, several different books, startling you completely, and you kind of like jump. Marty and Terry, you both jump, and you see that a book has come open, just on the floor right there in front of you. And it looks like a scrapbook. Merrick, did you take a roll yet?
I don't know what to roll for this. I don't have like medicine or anything.
You could do first aid, maybe.
I have a 40 in first aid. I'll try.
Could intelligence work?
No, we'd want something a little bit different here.
I'll roll the 40 for. Nah, that's not gonna work. That's a 79.
Okay, you maybe. Like, you just kind of, like, push it to the side for now, or, like, set it off to the side, because you can't really tell much about that skull.
Alright.
And you dig out more quite frantically, and you notice that there is an arcane symbol drawn on the ground. It looks like it is slightly illuminating whenever you say certain things. Like whenever they say Arthur, it illuminates. Or name any names, it kind of illuminates a little bit.
Did you guys stop talking for about a minute?
If they do stop talking, when they do stop talking, it stops illuminating.
Do you guys see this thing? This thing on the ground?
I would say
I look past Marty and I'm like, what is that?
I would say I'm still a little bit startled by the book. I'm like flipping through the scrapbook a little bit.
Okay, well, whenever you pick it up, it's already open to what appears to be like a newspaper clipping. And you see that it's on one from 1901, just 28 years earlier. And it's called Local Man Struck by Lightning. And it does feature a young Arthur Blackwood. You remember this. This happened, you were just down the road and this happened.
Right.
But he survived direct lightning strike while digging up a tree stump. And this is a newspaper clipping reminding you of the idea. And everything else is newspaper clippings or written out stories kind of detailing somebody in the Blackwood family having good fortune.
Right. Kind of like picking the pieces of how real this situation is. Like, I'm not necessarily paying as much attention to what Merrick's finding or like Terry acknowledging him. I'm just kind of tossing that to the side for the moment, and I'm going back to look for the ring.
Yeah. Terry, what are you up to?
One thing I was going to ask was, in the recording, did Arthur give any sort of clues to where it might be?
No, he did not.
Shit.
Did you recently have like a death in the family besides Rose? Like an older man, like maybe
No.
grandpa.
No, not that I know of. Not that I've been told. And like at this point, do I have any sort of feeling that the ring might be down here still?
You feel like it likely is. You don't know where else it would be. Because this is where he said, the basement,
Right. I'm like brushing kind of like aside the two of them, trying not to freak out any further. Seeing the skull, is it obviously Rose?
It's pretty completely devastated.
I thought you still said there was still like stuff on it, so I didn't know
there
how.
Is flesh on it, but
but it's not like identifiable.
Right, not without a closer look. That's going to take a roll of some sort. Whether it be a medicine, first aid, or a science roll.
Yeah, I have a 30 in first aid, so I'm not even going to attempt. Seeing, however, that it is like a person.
It is like a female cranium.
Right. I'm going to work with Merrick. I'm like, just help me. We got to dig this up.
Yeah.
All right, bring in the backhoe. Beep, beep,
beep.
beep.
How it getting in? You just hear it crash through the window above us.
The taxi driver has a backhoe.
God. He has like a full hitch set up on his taxi and everything else. Kind of like digging around this area where this one thing was found. Do we find it? Like flashing the light on it, trying to see if I can find a reflection of metallic, or like a reflection off the gemstone. Is there anything?
Looking for the ring?
Yes.
No. You see nothing.
I'm like digging around this skull.
You're like digging like around the skull would be where the arcane symbol is.
Okay. But no ring. You
don't see one around this area, no. at this moment, Damon, what are you exactly doing?
I'm kind of watching it. Like I'm kind of like trying to think it through in my head, but I'm also under the impression that he's looking for this ring. So I'm kind of just glancing back at him digging and looking for it, and just the body. So I've not really made a next plan of action yet.
Okay. Merrick, what are you doing?
Probably still digging.
Okay. You feel something wrap around your right leg. Near, like, you're down in a hole, and you feel something come from the gravel, wrap around your right leg, and tug you down to the ground, and begin to pull you deeper and deeper into the gravel. You're gonna have to roll a strength check, and Luke, you're definitely gonna be seeing this. I'm gonna need you to roll a sanity check.
A strength check.
What
okay.
I passed the strength check.
It was a sanity check. For you.
Oh, that's what I meant was sanity.
Okay.
I passed.
I passed the strength check. I needed a 70. I got a 64.
I was close on the
You're
sanity.
you've gripped the concrete and you're like pulling yourself back, but there's like some almost like a tentacle pulling you down, like a black mass pulling you down into the gravel. Luke, you're seeing this, and Terry, you're seeing that Merrick just fell and he's like frantically grabbing at the concrete to get away from this. What are you guys doing?
I'm
So I do see this, right? Yeah, so
Yeah.
the first thing I do is hop on the ladder, like get off the ground.
Okay.
I would say I just step back quite a bit, like towards the ladder, maybe. Still like breaking my concentration from the ring for a second, just to see what all is actually happening.
So you guys are going for the ladder.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you go for the ladder, you get on the ladder, Damon, and Luke, you're looking up at the ladder, and you look down at Merrick, and then you see the trapdoor slam shut, and no light is coming down here besides the light from your pocket flashlight and Terry's lantern.
What the fuck? I start banging on it.
It's not budging at all.
Hey, let me out. Let us out.
And you suddenly hear like almost like a whispery voice yelling, like a whisper, but it's a yell at the same time, and it's suggesting that
I will be free. This ring shall I be known.
Marty, I think it's right. I think it's real.
Marty, it's real. Marty.
And
then meanwhile, Merrick's dying in the floor. The worms! The worms!
You guys
pulling
just like
me in.
that. I think it's real. Worms! The ground!
no, like I saw that. I'm acknowledging that it's real.
Help!
Hearing that slam, I'm like thinking to myself, you said that the ring, I do feel like the ring is in the basement, right?
Yeah, you do feel like that. And suddenly, Merrick, instead of you being pulled by your leg to the floor,
Fuck.
something comes up through the gravel. A humanoid figure, completely shadowed in black, comes up through the ground, holding Merrick by the leg and trying to pull him up.
Jesus Christ.
I go, Marty, holy shit. I start shaking him like grabbing his back. I start shaking him. I go, the book says the ring has to stay on a member of the bloodline.
Merrick, please make a strength check.
Well, Rose isn't technically part of the bloodline. What if he gave Rose the ring?
Worms!
Check Rose's hand.
6, I fail.
Check Rose's
fail?
hand.
Wait, 6 luck.
You're going to use 6 luck.
Luck it down.
Okay. You're going to luck it down to a success, and what happens is this figure picks you up off the ground and throws you down onto the gravel.
Ow.
You're not hurt, but now this dark figure with glowing purple eyes and a glowing purple smile kind of look down at you and look around at everyone in the room. Oh my god.
Jesus.
The worms.
So what are you doing, Merrick, in this very moment?
So there is some kind of spooky motherfucker in the room.
Correct. And the room is, at this point, absolutely frozen solid.
I'm quick drawing my 38 pistol.
Oh my god. Okay. Quick draw your 38 pistol and make a, I think it's like I guess it's a shooting check.
It's a firearms handgun.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, I had to get a 60. I got a 10.
Okay, so you shoot it right between its eyes, and it kind of like dissipates for a second, and smoke falls back into the gravel.
What the fuck was that?
I go, I want to jump off the ladder. I want to get down on the ground again.
Okay.
And
You're
I
down
want
on the
to,
ground.
I'm gonna run towards the Rose's body. I'm a speed walk over there.
It's less of a body and more of just a head.
I go.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do earlier. I was trying to dig around that and look for it.
Her hand's got to be somewhere. And I just get on my knees and start moving gravel.
Okay, you start moving gravel. What are you guys? What are you doing, Marty?
I'm gonna help him because that, like, at this particular point in time, seems like the most correct choice.
And Terry, what are you doing? Or not Terry? I mean Merrick. What are you doing?
I'm gonna, get up and get my back to a wall.
Okay, still gun drawn.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Luke and Terry, please roll luck checks. Luke and Terry, Marty and Terry.
Oh my!
Luck.
My luck is a 70, and I rolled a 4.
Oh dear.
Dude, I got it. 18.
Oh.
Let's go.
Okay. At this point, Marty and Terry, you guys are kind of like in the same location, like digging and kind of clawing with your hands, getting down into the gravel, and you get to a point where you see like a rib cage, like a human rib cage, human bones that are intact, not chipped up. Flesh still attached. But Merrick, whenever they find this, you hear upstairs, you hear walking. And you hear somebody say, "What was that? What was that? What, boys, boys, are you in here? Oh my goodness, what is that? Ah!" And suddenly you hear like
It's so
scraping.
funny because you kind of like peek out there for a second.
You hear like scraping, clawing, and he's like pulling, and you hear like you can hear his fingernails breaking.
Ugh.
As he's pulled across the ground, and suddenly the trapdoor creaks and then breaks, and the fat taxi driver's body is now stuck in the trapdoor.
We just see Peter Pettigrew's ass.
Yeah, you just see legs hanging
Ew.
down and blood dripping from his torso, going down from his legs. Wade, please make a sanity check, and also everybody else as well.
I pass. Within my half.
Okay.
If that makes a difference for this.
I got a 5.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I'm locked in. That's all I can say.
We're just getting this shit done.
I got a natural 1.
Oh my god, y'all don't even care about the taxi driver.
Also,
You all only lose 0 sanity, and don't have any real reaction to the taxi driver, almost like it's just a normal everyday thing that somebody got pulled through the floor. But anyway, you guys have blood dripping like down onto the stones beneath the ladder, the few stones that are there, And Merrick, you see that blood dries up pretty quickly after it drips down onto the stone and does not leave a stain.
Ugh.
Magic rocks.
So that's where the blood went.
Marty and Terry, what are you guys up to?
We're still, I would assume, searching for this ring.
I gotta find that hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
While you, depending on the position, just go down each side. Like I'll take one side looking for one arm. You look down the other side looking for the other arm.
Okay. At this point, I need to roll some dice. So, Terry, you're digging for the hand. And suddenly you hear a whisper in your left ear. Merrick, you're still looking at the taxi driver during this. But, Terry, you hear this whisper in your left ear, and it says,
Your blood will not protect you here.
And then suddenly, you're punched in the back of the head.
Jesus.
You take a blunt force trauma to the back of the head, and you're going to lose 4 health points.
I go,
And your face is kind of like crushed down into the gravel. And Luke, you look up and see Terry's face down in the gravel. He's got a big gash on the back of his head from where he's punched, then hit. And you see standing above him a black shadowy figure with purple eyes.
Does shining my light at it do anything?
It does nothing but illuminate it.
Ugh. Having realized that Merrick's gun actually did something to it, despite its like hazy, almost smoke-like figure, I'm just screaming at Merrick to shoot it.
Merrick?
Shoot it.
Okay, roll to hit.
That's gonna be a 5.
God.
Dealing how much damage?
Does 1d10. I don't have a d10 roll
I've
pulled
got
up.
it. Yeah, so 5 damage there. And you shoot it, and it kind of like looks over at you and uses a telekinetic ability. Please roll a strength or an athletics check, because it is pulling the gun out of your hands.
That's a 28 against 70.
A 28 against 70? Okay,
Yeah.
so that's within your half. It does not pull out of your hands, though you are pulled forward toward it, keeping a hold of it. You kind of like stumble forward to make sure you keep a hold of the gun. And at this point, it reaches down and pushes Luke into the ground. You are pushed aside into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But you do not take any damage from it. You're just kind of knocking off balance. Terry, what are you doing?
I raise my head up out of the gravel. And I look over and I go, Marty, I'm sorry. I don't know why you do that. Not realizing I got hit by.
Does he see me just get shoved into the ground?
At this point, he probably does just see you get pushed.
Yeah,
Like
and
after he says that.
I go, oh, never mind. And then, and do I see the entity?
Yeah, you see the entity. Your EMF reader is going off in your pocket.
Okay, weird question. What was that thing, the whole ordeal about the slab glowing?
So whenever you guys mentioned the name of someone specific, like Arthur, and when you were reading the notes, the handouts that I gave you, when you were reading those, it was glowing, like illuminating.
I'm over there and I go. I scream out loud and I'm like, why, Arthur? Why would you do this?
The slab illuminates again, and you see the figure, whenever you're saying that, is looking more so at you.
I'm like, curse you, Blackwood.
Why are you talking shit about my homies?
Yeah, it's looking directly at you.
You can see the vision. See the vision.
I do see the vision.
And I'm like, when I'm sitting there, I'm also like got my hands digging still in the gravel, like deep in there, like trying to feel stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to play it off like I'm like, man, I'm gonna fucking die. But I'm also like behind me, like scooting around trying to dig shit up.
Yeah. And I would say while he's doing this, I'm like as quick as I can trying to get back up and keep digging a little bit more, urgently.
Okay. Wait. So, while he's doing that, the entity is looking like directly at him. However, you see it like backing up slowly until it kind of no clips through the wall, and then suddenly you hear something shift behind you.
The worms!
Even though you're up against the wall, you kind of got pulled a little bit forward, and suddenly you get bitten
Oh, what the fuck?
on the side of the neck,
Oh god, I'm a vampire now.
and you take 1 damage,
Ow.
and you are now being held by the head. So it has its arm, like one arm around your neck and one arm around your head, and it's biting the side of your head, and like you can feel it like sucking on the side of your head as it's biting as well.
Oh lord, it's freaky.
This thing's acting like Pennywise from It Chapter 2.
Luke, you
Yep.
and Damone are digging, and eventually, Luke, you find this ring, not on this hand, just on the ground nearby the hand.
Just happenstance, kind of.
Like not on the ground, but like in the gravel, nearby the hand. Yeah, like it may have fallen here alongside the skeleton.
Mm-hmm. I'm instantly like looking at it.
And Terry, you see that he has found it also.
It's supposed to be passed down, but we don't have a way out, right? Like that, the dude's still stuck in the fucking trap door, isn't he?
Correct.
And there's no other way out.
Correct.
I can't get this back to him. It's supposed to be passed down according to what you read, but I mean, this is the kind of only option we have as I start to put it on.
Good.
Please allow me to now go over what happened on that fateful day between Arthur Blackwood and Rose Blackwood. Arthur was outside the cabin in Washington County. He was cutting lumber. He had just taken off his signet ring, the family ring, the black ring with the purple gemstone. Took it off so he didn't damage it while he was gripping his axe. Little did he know, this put his wife's life and his own in jeopardy. Upon taking off the ring and putting it into his pocket, Rose, all the way back in the cabin, opened the trapdoor down to the cellar, the one underneath the rug, near the front windows, and went down the ladder. She was looking for the old scrapbook, the one with all of the newspaper clippings of the good fortune of the family, just as something to talk to Arthur about. And when she got down there, she found that the room was oddly cold, colder than it ever had been before. And when she got over to the shelf where the scrapbook stand, she was grabbed. Grabbed by the entity that has already attacked our characters, and she was killed. She was killed, decapitated, butchered. But before she was decapitated, she did scream. A lot. She was in a huge amount of pain, and this entity was torturing her. Arthur come running as soon as he heard the screams. He went so fast he almost fell down the ladder. Basically ran down the ladder. By then it was too late. Rose had been decapitated, her head flying across the room. Blood everywhere. All across the beautiful white gravel and seashell floor. Arthur was horrified. He didn't know what to do. He had never seen this entity before, but it had just killed his wife. His life. He tried to grab Rose's body, thinking he might be able to do something in a panic. And as he did, the ring slipped out of his pocket onto the ground. It was quickly grabbed by the entity. The entity jumped upon it, pulled it down through the gravel, so Arthur had no chance to grab it. Arthur, realizing his wife was truly dead and he wasn't long for this world if he didn't run, ran out of the cabin, up the ladder out of the cabin for his life, where he was found the next day, covered in blood, by someone on a nearby trail. As you put on the ring, the entity lifts up Merrick and begins flying with him across the room toward you. Wade, would you like to make any type of check here? Would you like to do anything? I mean, it's already taken off and it has you in its grasp. What would you like to do?
I think there's only one thing to do at a time like this. Try and shoot it again. I understand the potential consequences, and will do so anyway.
Okay.
While they're like flying toward me, having the ring like on, I'm gonna clench my fist so if it were to knock me over, it's less likely to fall off.
Okay, that's a reasonable thing to do.
I also would like to make a dodge.
Okay, yeah, roll dodge.
I'm going to use 3 luck points to make success.
Okay. Brings you down to 67.
Yep.
Wade, please roll to shoot, and let me know if you succeed.
That's a 37 against a 60.
Okay, you shoot it, and you're flying through the air. It drops you, and you're going to go flying.
I'm free.
Marty jumped out of the way. Terry's still there. Unfortunately, you and Terry are going to collide, both taking 2 damage. So Merrick, that means you've lost 4 hit points, and Terry, you have lost 6 total.
Thank you for breaking my fall.
And you guys have flown back down into the gravel. The gravel's kind of like piercing your skin in areas. You're definitely hurting. Damon, like you got bashed on the back of the head. You got like a big wound there, and then gravel gets in it, and gravel's like poking you everywhere else. Your head's not in the best space. How's everything going?
I'm like very wheezy after the head hit, so I'm definitely gonna be like woozy and just not all there. But I'm just gonna keep saying, put the ring on, put the ring on.
Yeah. Luke, you have the ring on at this point.
Right.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna try, like, just as an idea, saying that didn't immediately stop it. I'm gonna start covering up the slab and everything else that we had dug up, like on the concrete area, and I'm just covering it all back up from what we took off.
You're covering up everything? Okay.
The slab and all that.
Right. Okay, so you're starting to kind of push like everything on there.
Right.
At this point, as you're doing this, the creature shows up. It kind of like comes from the shadows nearby you. Merrick and Terry are still on the ground, kind of like dazed, but you are fine. And then suddenly you see to your left, this creature comes from the shadows with one clear fist and punches you in the face. Ow. You take 3 damage.
Okay.
And fall back into the ground. And it says, almost in like the whispery yell, once again,
"This ring shall no longer bind me. All your blood is cursed, Blackwoods. Both of you."
You want me to make a sanity check?
Yeah, that would probably be a great idea to make a sanity check.
You want me to shoot him?
No, because you might shoot me.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You want me to shoot you so he's not mad anymore?
As quickly as I can. I'm gonna make an attempt to like.
Did you succeed or fail at your sanity check?
Oh, I succeeded. I passed.
Okay. Well, you're still going to take 2 sanity damage.
Okay. Down to 41.
Okay. So as you're doing that, Merrick, what are you doing?
What choice do I have but to shoot it again?
It is not currently present. After it punched him, it kind of did fade. back into the shadow. It never really completely revealed itself.
Well, in that case,
Man-made
what the
mage.
fuck does this thing want? Why won't it just leave us alone? Why are ghosts real? This doesn't make any sense.
It's a genie.
Where's the lamp? The lamp!
I don't know. Why don't you make a wish, fucking Marty?
I wish for more cigarettes.
I've like tossed the little pocket flashlight, which is seemingly advanced for the age, onto the ground beside me, so it just kind of like illuminates the general area.
Right. Damone,
Mm-hmm.
what are you up to?
I am trying to figure out why it's not leaving us alone.
I think it is at this point, isn't it?
I mean, like with the ring.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm freaking out because I'm like, if this is real, then like, you know, if this is real, how do we even combat this? Like, what do we do? So it's like, the only thing we can do is to make it not kill us.
Suddenly you hear behind you loud gravel footsteps, and Terry, you see the entity kind of comes out from the shadows.
I want to haymaker this thing.
Okay, go ahead and go for a fighting brawl.
You said just Harry hears that, right?
I'm gonna use 6 luck points.
No, everybody hears that. But Terry saw it. Okay, you're gonna use 6 luck points to punch it in the face.
I'm gonna sock him.
Okay. How much damage does that do? Like 1d4, I think.
1d3.
Okay, I got it. You're gonna deal 2 damage. Socked him in the face,
Get the fuck out of here.
and you connect with it on the punch, and it kind of like reacts by like grabbing you by the neck and choking you.
I go. I'm like, why the fuck did you hit me in the head for?
And the entity says back to you,
You fool! A fool with blackwood blood doesn't even know it. You will die as well.
Wait. My dad's got some explaining to do, man. What the fuck?
and you're like choking to death right now. Merrick, you and Marty hear him choking to death behind you.
Marty, give me the ring, Marty.
So, like, am I good to go, or, like, do you want me to watch?
Marty.
Would we say that at this point, everything's been covered back up already?
Yeah, it's been covered up, and it has done nothing to stop this.
Seeing that nothing's happening, I'm. He said that he was a Blackwood way further down the line, right?
That's what he said. The entity leans into you, Damone. Leans into Terry's ear and says,
It's not true.
Where is your good fortune now, mortal?
I'm choking to death, by the way. I'm like, oh, God, it sucks, it sucks.
You take another
hidden game Damone speech.
another 3 damage. How much health do you have?
I'm dead.
Oh.
What?
Oh, no.
Man got his AK-47
How much
moment.
did you have?
9.
Oh, yep, you're dead.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God.
So you just hear like after the entity whispers in Terry's ear, you just hear like a crack. And then Terry's body goes limp and he just drops him to the ground. The entity just drops Terry's dead, lifeless corpse to the ground and is staring directly at you, Marty and Merrick.
Maybe I shouldn't have punched him.
Don't look at me. I'm not a Blackwood.
Post-mortem hindsight. Instinctually, I'm like, my fist is still clenched. I'm holding it up almost in like a Green Lantern style pose.
Yeah.
Just to see if it like winces or reacts in any particular way that's not like offering it up to him, but like almost asserting the bond sort of connection like that I am supposed to have over him.
Right. Okay. He just looks you dead in your eyes and says, "Do it."
Can I make an occult roll to know what he's talking about?
Yeah, please make an occult.
Within my 5th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a 65 in occult.
You have a deep feeling. You know, your family is connected to this.
Mm-hmm.
You think you might be able to potentially banish him, get rid of him, command him to leave this place. This ring seems to have some sort of significance in the family, and you just pulled to use it to protect yourself.
Like I feel like internally, like I know what to do.
Right. Like it's natural.
Right.
You have to protect yourself, Merrick, and you must avenge
my apparent relative.
Rose and your apparent relative way back.
Right.
Terry.
My third cousin twice removed, Harry.
Yeah. Who is now fucking dead.
Yes, on my property. And I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna like take a step towards it, and like in the most steady tone I can possibly create given the circumstances, I'm like going to command it to leave, to go back to wherever it was before. That trying to think of a way to phrase it. More or less just banishing it from our plane.
Right. So you say that, and
take an assertive step forward.
It begins to like shake and condense. Like the smoke begins to condense, and its body condenses, and it starts to become smaller and smaller. And it says, "You have no power over me, mortal."
Observing the clear authority I have in this situation, I'm like straightening my posture. I just learned that I had a distant relative that I just watched die in front of me. Straightening my posture, taking another very assertive step towards him, almost to a point of powering over him. I'm just commanding him to go, to just leave, banishing him from our plane of existence.
At this point now, he's like flying into the walls, but you notice like there's like a protective barrier around the walls that is coated in like a crimson red. Whenever he hits it, that does not allow him to leave the confines of this basement. But he's bouncing around like a pinball within the basement. And Wade, you're standing there, and you see every time he hits the wall, the seal underneath the gravel that you guys just covered up is glowing red.
I don't like this. I didn't ask for this. I'm not related to any of you idiots.
Well, now it's just me. Do I notice the barrier and like the glow of the sigil?
You can both see that. That every time the entity hits the barrier encasing him in the room, the sigil glows.
Is it almost as if like the barrier might be breaking, or
no,
or like it's working?
The barrier is working.
Okay. I'm power posing with that ring, continuing to command it.
Yeah, it is flying around even faster and faster now, but it cannot leave the room because of this barrier. Every time you say you want to banish it, it flies into the wall harder, but it cannot leave the room to be banished.
Okay. Noticing that it, despite its actions, it cannot physically leave, I'm just going to command it to just go dormant.
Okay, and suddenly...
Or in its own sense, die.
Right. Everything just stops at that point, and it sinks into the gravel beneath Terry's dead corpse. And Merrick, you're just sitting there fucking starstruck. Like, what the fuck just happened? Lose one sanity.
Yes, honey.
This reminds me of that scene from the first Conjuring movie when they're in the basement.
Suddenly everything has gone quiet in the room. The room has returned to a normal temperature. And everything...
we realize how little oxygen there is left in the room from the man being stuck into the one hole.
You guys all have hypoxia. Terry is dead also in the room.
Right.
At this moment, we are going to cut to black. I want to thank you for sitting through this story. I now have a conclusion and an epilogue for you. I hope you have enjoyed the video so far and continue to enjoy this epilogue that's just going to last a few more minutes. Marty and Merrick escaped the basement by pulling the taxi driver's corpse down through what used to be the trapdoor. They ran to the taxi, not even taking the cigarettes off the hood of the taxi that the taxi driver had left there, letting them fly off into the wind as they drove away from scenic Washington County. They returned to civilization and immediately voiced their concerns to Kleiner, Joseph Kleiner, the defense attorney for Arthur. They reported their findings, and Kleiner sent the police out to recover the body of Rose and subsequently the body of Terry. The body of Rose being recovered in such a state really muddied the waters in the murder case. Her injuries were more consistent to that of an animal attack than a grisly murder. This was just enough for Kleiner to get Arthur acquitted on all charges. Terry's death, however, brought more attention unto Marty and Merrick, as they were the two present for his death. They were both soon arrested. Neither of them were willing to talk to police, or perhaps they couldn't talk to police. Kleiner quickly came to Marty's side to become his defense attorney, and he wove a tale to the police that the PI, Merrick, was unstable. Had you even seen the way he addressed the stench coming from him? Merrick's defense team was unfortunately not as quick to act as Marty's, and they even considered an insanity plea. Merrick was convicted exactly 1 year after the events of this story for the murder of Terry Sandow. A courtroom painting depicted Arthur, Marty, and Joseph Kleiner sitting in the front row of the courtroom during the conviction. Merrick was sentenced to death and fried about 2 years later, sometime in 1932. The only person present for his execution was Marty. Was it through the good luck of his family that he survived this? Or perhaps was it the curse that allowed him to survive? For the foreseeable future, he won't be able to sleep. All he'll be able to see is the face of Merrick frying in the electric chair and the final few words he heard from his far-off relative, Terry. Thank you for following this story, a story that, concerning Rose's death, at least, will encapsulate audiences as an unsolved mystery for decades. I want to thank Luke, Wade, and Damone for playing in this game. And I want to thank you for watching once again. Please like and subscribe if this video was entertaining to you, and let me know in the comments if you want me to do more actual play content like this. But that's all I've got. So, goodbye for now, but not forever.